Threads of the universe.
My name is Thomas, and I'm an astronaut. Ever since I was a child, I dreamed of the stars and wondered how space worked. And now, as I finally embarked on my space journey, I realized it was nothing like we had imagined. When our ship reached the Orion space station, we were greeted by Captain Laura. She was strict but fair. We got along right away. On the first evening, we sat in the central cabin, looking at a map of the cosmos on a large screen.
Thomas, have you ever wondered if space is more than just stars and planets?
Of course. I've always felt like there's something more behind it all. But what is it? She smiled slyly and pointed to strange lines connecting stars on the screen.
These lines aren't just trajectories. They are the paths along which cosmic forces move. Have you ever wondered why planets don't collide and stars don't fall on us?
Gravity? Laura shook her head.
Gravity is only part of it. Space has its own rules that keep everything in balance. These lines are like threads of the universe. They hold everything in place.
Threads of the universe? That sounds like something out of a science fiction book.
I know, but it's real. These threads control the movement of planets, stars, and galaxies. They're like a web, connecting everything around us. Who controls this web? No one. It exists on its own, as part of the cosmic mechanism. But if someone learned to control these threads, they could control the entire universe.
That conversation sparked countless questions in my mind. Space, which I had thought was simple and straightforward, turned out to be much more complex. But the most interesting thing happened the next day. Our team set out to explore a nearby asteroid. With me were Emily, our engineer, and Jack, the navigator. When we landed on the asteroid's surface, I immediately noticed something strange. There were deep grooves on its surface, as if someone had left tracks. What is this?
Looks like tracks from some kind of machinery. But who could have done this? No one's been here for hundreds of years.
I approached the grooves and touched them. At that moment, I felt a strange vibration, as if the asteroid had come to life.
Thomas! Say, get back to the ship immediately. We're detecting strong magnetic fluctuations.
But I didn't have time to respond. Suddenly, a bright light appeared in front of me, and I found myself in a different place, right in the middle of a star field. I could see all the planets, galaxies, and comets. But the most amazing thing was that I saw those very threads Laura had talked about. They were real, thin, and almost invisible. They connected everything around me, and at the center of all this brilliance, I saw a massive knot, like the control center of the entire universe. I blinked, and the light disappeared. I was back on the asteroid, but now everything felt different. I knew I had seen something hidden from most eyes. When we returned to the station, I told Laura everything.
You saw it, the threads of the universe. Now you understand how fragile our world is.
I nodded. The world was indeed fragile, but at the same time incredibly beautiful and mysterious. I realized that space wasn't just an empty void, but a living network that connects everything in existence. And though we haven't yet learned to control those threads, I knew we were on the right path to understanding the great secret of the universe. Space is not just a place. It's a mechanism, a living organism full of mysteries and possibilities. And I, Thomas, was just a tiny part of this infinite and amazing world.